So, where do you think hate manifests from? Hating something or disliking it, not wanting to be around it, racism, being prejudiced, thinking someone might be, calling someone a demon just because you don't know about them. I think hate manifests from not getting to know your own fear, kind of just letting yourself unconsciously be afraid of something different, not wanting to accept it, not wanting to learn about it. Why? Because everybody's afraid of being hurt by something that they don't know. The possibility. You have a strong mind. As a human being, your mind naturally analyzes any given situation for survival. And in New Age life, it's all about survival. Who's got to be the best? Who needs to have the most money, have the nicest things? You can't walk down the street without keeping your guard up because you think someone might get you when you're not looking. But, that all stems from fear. We all feel the same things. Energy is very powerful, and that's what we're all made of. Energy. It runs through our body, it runs in everything around us, and energy only speaks one language, and that's emotion. Someone could come up to you in a different language, screaming their head off that they need help. You can't understand them, but you know that they need help. Why is that? Because your energy feels their energy, their emotions. What you feel, I think, is the biggest reality of anything, because that's what's real. You could say that you love somebody, but you're still crying over them. Well, you're crying over them because that's how you feel, not what you say. You could try to pretend like you don't feel anything, but the truth is, if you're a human being, you feel something. And if we all feel the same way, and if we all speak one language, which is emotion, then why does everybody hate each other so fucking much? My sad feels just like your sad. Why do we have to prove that I had a harder life than you, or you had a harder life than I, and you want to stand out? Well, that's because everybody wants to feel special. Everybody wants to feel different, and that's clinging onto your individuality and your ego. Naturally, you are different. We all look different. We all say different things. We all act differently. But when it comes down to the inside, we all feel pain. We all feel love. We all empathize. Now, if we have the same emotions and the same feelings, why is it so fucking hard to get along with each other? To me, that's the biggest similarity of it all. If you can relate to somebody who has the same skin color as you, that's based on the outside. Now, what happens if you get to know that person, you find out that person's a traitor or just not a nice person to be around, only looks out for themselves? Now, does that mean that you should deal with it because they're the same skin color as you? No. That means that you should be around people who feel the same way that you do. Don't put yourself in that kind of situation. Don't create your own nightmares. That's what we all do. We kind of just create our own problems. If problems don't happen to us, we create our own. And the reason we create our own is because of how our mind works. Your mind works by creating and analyzing. You analyze the information that's given to you, and then you create a dislike or a like for that thing. And you get attached to it or detached to it. But instead of jumping to the conclusion of how your emotions are, what you should do is kind of just sit and observe how you feel and why you feel it. And then maybe you'll have a better understanding of what's actually going on instead of just acting off of your fear or your love. Those are the only two emotions that everybody feels. If you say that, no, I feel depressed, I feel anxious, I feel uneasy, those are all feelings based off of fear. Figure out where that fear comes from. What are you afraid of? As soon as you let go of the fear, nothing else matters, You kind of have to stop looking for the outside for answers, because there's no answers on the outside. My journey is different from your journey. I was born in a different place and a different time from you. You need to look within. You are the only one that holds the answers to your happiness. What allows you to be happy is yourself. If you let things bother you, then things are going to bother you and you're going to be sad as shit. And you may say, well, Ashley, how do I not let things bother me? You know, people do this to me. He made me feel this way. She made me feel that way. Well, take a minute and observe why you feel that way. Why do you feel that way? Bothered by this person, hurt by this person, upset by this person. Because you grew an attachment or a subconscious expectation of how things should be based off of your own experience. But what really is your experience here? Have you learned anything about who you are? Or have you been trying to conform to what you've been taught? You ever think about that? Maybe you're unhappy because you're trying to live a way of life that someone's trying to teach you. But, you know, people only speak off of their own journeys and how they think that things should be because it works for them, or just being self-absorbed and wanting to control your life. Take the time out to observe yourself. And of course, it's going to be hard because you're going to feel emotions out of nowhere that you've been hiding for so long trying to avoid. But what you should do is just kind of take some time to yourself and observe what you feel. Maybe some childhood memories will pop up that you've been trying to avoid your entire life because you just don't like feeling sad. Well, in order to not feel sad, you have to feel sad first, right? If you just bury it, it'll surface. But if you let it out and you observe your emotions, it won't really surface again. It'll be there. You know what this feeling is and you know what causes it. And it goes the same way if you really like something. If you really love something, observe why you love it to see if you really love it or not, you know? I just think that there's a complete miseducation about the universe and the world and how it works. And how it works is that we are all beings of the universe, just a bunch of composited stardust put together in these amazing machines that we operate through energy, through emotion and feelings. And they kind of tell you that men shouldn't use their feelings or they should hide them or whatever, which is a bunch of bullshit. We all think and we all feel the same way. Some further than others because they have gained more knowledge in their experience here. But there's really no difference in any of us. We all cry. We all laugh. So why the fuck does everybody hate each other? Why can't you get along with somebody? You know? It just doesn't make sense to me if we all feel the same things.